So yeah, thanks. We're joined today by Darren Myers from Len Hollis. Yeah, we're doing this chat to get to know our ghost shops a little bit better, and so that the community can see what we're doing and I guess provide a bit more support to them on their end. So I guess to start us off, Darren, if you could just introduce yourself, your position, and a bit about the shop history, that'd be great.
Yeah, my name's Darren Myers. I own and run Len Hollis Repair Facility at Mortlake. So I've had the business for about 12 years, 13 years, I guess. Bought it when it was a little place and bought the factory next to it, and it's expanded now. So yeah, we like ICAR and the training there. So I think it's pretty important for the industry. So I also sit on the board of ICAR. I sat on the board from 2015 to 2017, and now sit on the industry advisory board of ICAR. So yeah, I very much like what it's about and what it does.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And you, because I know that you do sit on the industry board, but how did you get about discovering ICAR Australia in the first place?
I think that was many years ago when it first came out. I think we were probably, when it first started, there was probably 2 people in the course or the class, if you like. So always liked the idea of, technology changing and even being the owner of the business and quoting the cars and being able to, have the cars repaired properly. And when the assessor comes out, you can get the right procedure, and they're confident in what you do and confident in what we do ourselves as, choosing the right repair procedure for that car. And that was a long time ago, so I think it's changed even more now. So it becomes even more paramount, I think, now to the training really should be mandatory, I guess. It's very hard repairing modern day cars with no training. So yeah.
Yeah, especially because there's so many of them and out on the roads now. It's no longer just like a small amount.
Yeah, and I think it went from mild steel a long time ago to aircraft engineering now, and I think it's only going to get more complex. And so you definitely need to do training, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, yeah. Awesome. Thank you. So I guess in terms of Road to Gold, how did you get started? What was the main reason for starting Len Hollis onto that journey?
I think we were the first gold class shop in Sydney, so it wasn't too bad. I think the welding courses count for a fair few points, and other guys have to, I think it's 55% of your shop has to be platinum. And the paint company does a pretty good job to support the other guys with new products and get them points that way. So the welding courses definitely do help. But yeah, I think it's important that even to be the gold class, I guess, rather than just doing ICARs. Once most of the guys know, or more than one technician knows or become platinum and knows more about it, it sort of works collectively a lot better in the shop rather than just one person doing some courses here and there. So I think that's the gold class is really important for that side of it. I think everyone gets on the same train, if you like, and they sort of talk about it. And sometimes mistakes can be made. You can find them before it happens, and gives you a bit more support that way rather than just having one guy that might come and go, or so I think that's important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And no doubt. And you mentioned, because with gold class, 50%, 55% of the team needs to be platinum on the road to. I guess, did you want to have let me know about who's in your team and tell us a little bit more about them and the sort of training they've received so far?
Yeah, so I had Mark's been with me for a long time. He's platinum. He does the weld certification and the riveting courses. And Marston's the same. He's done most of that as well. So I think anyone that even starts with me, if I put a new staffer on, I get them to do the weld certification. I think that's pretty important. We had a guy with me for a long time, and when we first started doing the welding, and I think he didn't have his glasses checked for about 3 years. So,
oh no!
So he failed the welding course, but we didn't do the welding course. He'd still be welding up your cars, and so even that side of it's. I think they check their glasses now before they go to the welding courses. But yeah, it all helps, So it shows them little things that he didn't get his glasses checked, but he was welding up my cars. So. But yeah, the welding course is particularly important. That's probably the most important part of it, that's for sure. So,
I guess, and then did you have any advice for those wanting to become a platinum individual, or I guess an experience, or what would you offer to someone who wants to explore this as part of their career or training?
Yeah, I think it's good for them. We didn't really have any people that didn't want to train. I think most people, whether they're 16 or 60, want to train.
Yeah.
I think for them, their career they stopped doing stuff in tech other than ICAR. So
Yeah.
They enjoy they enjoy the challenges of the new cars, and they see them firsthand that the technology is very different.
Yeah.
And they like that idea of training. They like the idea of, growing their knowledge and skill set. So a lot of people that say, if they train, they might leave, but if you train them, they mightn't leave either. So, but yeah, I think they generally like all that. I don't really know anyone that hasn't liked the idea of doing training. So, particularly when you're gold class, the guys only have to do 2 courses a year, so it's not that encumbering. So if you had a rectification or something, I presume that would cost a lot more than $275 a course. So it gives you a bit of an insurance policy as well. And I think most of the insurers want the gold class now as well. So
yeah,
there's some of the OEMs as well. Most of the Holden and Audi's going that way as well, to be gold class before you come onto the network. So it's really just a matter of time, So it's better to be a leader rather than a follower, in my opinion, anyway.
And I guess we're moving on to we touched on the topic of training. I know our last year and a half has been a bit crazy in terms of the pandemic. But how did your team go about completing the courses when it came to achieving and maintaining gold class? And guess, do you have any thoughts on how the delivery of courses that you guys did?
Well, I think it wasn't so bad because we're already gold class, I guess.
Yeah.
But the welding courses would be, if someone was on their road to gold classes, the welding courses would certainly project you there a bit quicker. But yeah, look, didn't do too much. I've always wanted to stay on gold class. I think you can fall out of gold class, which is a lot of work to fall out of it. It's fairly easy to stay in it once you're there. So yeah, we did the training regularly, and it's changed a little bit, the training with the virtual and the online. So it's probably easier than what it was before. Or it's more convenient, I should say, rather than easier. But yeah, we still get the training up, and you got to do it. Like it's something that we don't choose to do. I think it's mandatory for us. I really want to keep doing it, and I've really liked it from the word goes. So I'll still continue to keep doing it. That's for sure. So I don't really want to drop it off, or I've got that far, so I will continue to do the training.
Yeah, sure. And do you guys usually do it as a team, or is it sort of an individual approach?
Sometimes we do it as a team. Sometimes we do courses together. Sometimes and sometimes we'll do them virtual. And obviously the riveting courses are done by just with the one guy usually, or one guy at a time, depending on the circumstance. And the paint company, like I said, usually takes care of the paint stuff with new products, which counts for points, and which is all you need to do that too. Obviously, with the changing paints, and so, it's you sort of get to change. You get to probably know about the new materials, whether you like it or not. So that's a good thing, so it keeps you updated as well. So.
Yeah, sure. So, that's so it sounds like you guys really do quite enjoy training, which is really great. Did you have a favorite course or topic?
Yeah, I think that the courses, I forget what it's called, the trending course, I think it's trending or something. But when the new car vehicles come out and they say about the new technology and the 2022, changes in the cars, and they're quite enjoyable. The changes in the cars, the little things that are happening compared to the ones that were previous, or that new bit of technology. It's sort of a eye opener, I guess. So.
Awesome. All right. Well, that was really quite interesting. Do you have any advice on how, I guess, people can find success with their road to go journey? I know you mentioned a little bit before about training obviously being quite important, but any words from yourself or your experience?
Yeah, I guess particularly from particularly from the business owner's perspective, I guess I think it's important that if the owner doesn't, train, I don't think your staff's going to train. I think you have to sort of do 4 or 5 courses, and then you'll get the hang of it. And I think you really want your team to do the training. Then once you see a lot of it, and then you can encourage them to come on as well. I think it's hard if you've got people out there wanting to do training without you sort of stepping into it as well. I think you really need to do that as a team effort, and you get the most out of it that way. So, like I said, I don't think you'd see much pushback if you did it that way. But I think it's very important for the owner of the business, I think, to do some of that as well. Otherwise you're just sort of relying on your staff to make sure everything's okay. You got to sort of lead by example, or know what you're doing yourself. I think to make sure your staff are doing that properly as well. So it's your name on the door, or your business at the end of the day. So
yeah, no worries. Well, that was pretty much it today. It was a short and sweet one. Thank you again so much for your time.
That's okay. Thank you.
And it was great catching up with you.
You too, and thanks very much for my car for all the hard work. So
yeah, no worries.